I wouldn't say that like we are more similar. Well, I don't know why they told us like we are kind of like more similar to the Hamites, because I feel like them like with our darker skin, different skin tones and stuff, they try to like compare us to like a monkey, basically just like kind of bring them down. So like that's what I'm at. So
Like, how is that? Why would they say that?
yeah,
It's interesting that they say that too. So it's interesting they try to say we look like monkeys. But if you shave a monkey, the skin is damn near white. And their lips is thin as hell. And they, like monkeys are monkeys. All animals are just animals. The evolution thing. I know you're not on the evolution thing. But it's funny how they try to make fun of us saying that we monkeys. Because the hair is black or brown.
for our skin tones and stuff like that, but sunscreen makes them
Yeah.
like us.
Yeah.
So it's like, are you like
What we talking about? I mean, it's a lot of, and I'm glad you brought that up. Like that's psychological. It's psychological warfare. It's how can we flip the narrative, or how can we flip for them to think against themselves and to never really look or analyze. It's like what I was saying last week or last Wednesday. Like we're so caught up in what and looks and what seems to be right in front of us, and it's a lot more going on up here. So what's happening in front of you is happening, but it's a lot going on up here that's in front of you that if you miss it, you go way over here, which is what we become. So when we pick up this Bible and we learning now something that the world been trying to hide and they kept on secret. We just now coming up out the basement, opening the door, looking in like, dang, we got kitchens up here. We got bathrooms and stuff like that. We've been locked down in that basement so long, getting fed whatever it was that was given to us. Now we like, oh, 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 there's an outside up here. I thought the light coming through the window was fake. But now we can see that it's way bigger than what we thought. So that's a heavy point with the monkeys and what they think and how they switch our idea. Blacks, like black skin, black people, I know I'm light as can be. Don't get me wrong. But being that we today are like a speckled bird and our colors are light and dark, it's so amazing. Because even still, if you Israel or not. And even when people try to question that, and they say, well, how do you, and we're going to get back to Genesis, don't worry. Even when people get to, if, how do you know you Israel and you not letting the African in? Or how do you know that person, he light skinned? So how do you know he not white? How do you know you don't know your DNA and all that? The Lord being real ain't going to allow no heathen up in here anyway. So after a while, let's say somebody come in here and they light skin as light as me or lighter, and they come and sit down in class. I can't just look at him and be like, he Israel or not. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try your spirit. I'm gonna start bringing up scriptures that go against the white man or go against all that. But I'm not talking to him or her. I'm teaching it like I'm up here with y'all. I'm like, the devil is in the blah, blah, blah. And now if he us, then when Christ said, my sheep hear my voice. When you hear that, you like, yeah. And you come into class next week, you go online next week, you make it out again and again. And next thing you know, you in all black. Then you become an officer and you teaching and you at camp and you rocking and rolling. Ain't no devil gonna do that. Ain't no devil gonna do too much of that in the spirit of the Lord. Them other groups over there, let them in. Like I was saying last week, them other groups let them in and they're allowed to be the devil they are in there. You ain't allowed to do it in here. The spirit gonna get cut so hard and be so burdened on the word of the Lord, they ain't gonna last, they ain't gonna stay. It's happened before. Hamites come in, they look like us or whatever. We dropping Hamite scriptures like we're gonna do tonight. dropping the white man scriptures, and they eventually just never come back. So that's like that's your telltale. That's how you kind of see like, oh, they won't really Israel, no way. But we tried it. We tried them, and then now they not here. So that's one way you can, how we met and say, okay, how we match and say, okay, this person is down. We trying him. We seeing what he's about. And even I've been questioned before. Let me see your credentials. Let me see your, let me see your pedigree or your father. They see a picture of my pops, be like, oh, okay, you good. It's just my mom real light skin, and he's, a little darker than me. But, you see like, oh, okay. But there's some people you like, nah, I don't know. Give me that, right? Come here, let me talk to you. And then some people turned out to not be us, and then some people turned out to be us. So that's just a skin color thing. I don't want to go too far. But back to here, Genesis 19 and 28. Okay, I'll read it for now. All right, Genesis 19 chapter and verse 28. And if y'all got any questions in between here as I'm reading, y'all more than welcome to ask. And he looked towards Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah, was like a city of alternative lifestyle people. I got to be careful what I say because we online. But for the alternative lifestyle people who in mass, like America is today, you go to different cities and you see people of that lifestyle. This was a full out ride or die city for that alternative lifestyle, Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, please.
You said Sodom and Gomorrah was kind of like a triangle, like a 3-city area. So it's as big as that.
Yeah, I believe 3 to 5.
Okay. So it's huge.
It's huge. It's very large. 3 to 5. I've heard 3. I've heard in the UPK we say 5 cities. So we could probably look up the mass of it somewhere, maybe online or in the Zondervan dictionary. But I've always heard between 3 to 5 cities. So if you think of a city like Charlotte or Raleigh, and then say Fayetteville, I guess would be considered city, but it was a bunch of them, large. Okay. And toward all the land of the plain, and beheld, and lo, the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace. So this was when the Lord was going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. So the big question, or the popular thing, is today most Christians and most of the world knows why it was destroyed. Like it's no doubt why. So my question would be, why erect back something that the Lord destroyed then? Why do that? Because you got to remember the pride and arrogance of that kind of people. That kind of people of them, how prideful it is for them to go in the streets and say they want to be accepted, and you can't accept yourself. You want to be accepted by everybody and force everybody to love and accept you, and you can't accept who you are. You wake up one day and you a man, and then you turn around and say you a woman in a man's body. You can't accept yourself, but you want us to love and accept you. So that kind of twisting of the scriptures, the Lord ain't going for that. That kind of, when I say twisting of the scriptures, because today we have this, and then y'all go out today and lie and then do all this, live that lascivious life, and then want to damn near shove it down everybody's throat and brain and make them accept that. They call it Pride Month. That was last month, right? So verse 29, and it came to pass when God destroyed the cities of the plain that God remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in the which Lot dwelt, because of course Lot was living there. Excuse me. And if you know the story, you know about the angels that came, you know about Lot having to get up out of there, finding those who weren't a part of that, and he couldn't find none. And so verse 30, And Lot went up out of Zoar and dwelt in the mountain, and his 2 daughters with him, for he feared to dwell in Zoar, and he dwelt in a cave, he and his 2 daughters. Verse 31. And the firstborn said unto the younger, Our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all the earth. So what is, we're getting to how Moab and Ammon came about, right? But what needs to be recognized is this older daughters should not have thought that way. But if I could make it real clear, she thought that way because she didn't know or thought better, but it brought something back into the earth that was already going to be a heathen anyway. I hope I'm making sense. At one time, all the nations were here. When the flood came, the Lord had to bring all the nations back in. At certain points in history, biblically, the nations came back, and this is how these ones came back. Okay? So I try to not be confusing with just that verse, but I had to bring it there so when we read on, we'll get it. Okay? So verse 32. And when she said in the middle of 31, Our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all the earth. That just because he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, the Lord destroyed that, doesn't mean every single person was gone. But that was her ignorance in that. So them dwelling in that cave and the father being old, we're going to read what happened. So she was thinking about repopulating when she didn't have to do that. But something had to come of it. All right, verse 32. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him that we may preserve seed of our father. So she thought, well, let's get him drunk, and then we'll lay with him so we can preserve seed and have people come back. But that wasn't the way she had to do that. She ain't have to do that. Okay. But verse 33, and they made their father drink wine that night, and the firstborn went in, firstborn being the oldest, for anybody that don't know, and lay with her father, and he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. So he didn't know when she came in and they did what they did, and when she left out. If anybody ever drank a little too much, you know how you can, as they call it, black out. You don't really remember. You wake up the next day and be like, what happened last night? So don't ever get that far gone. But that's what it's talking about. So in the middle of verse 33, and lay with her father, and he perceiveth not when she lay down, nor when she arose. Verse 34. And it came to pass on the morrow that the firstborn said unto the younger, Behold, I lay yesternight with my father. Let us make him drink wine this night also, and go thou in and lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. So she's explaining, I went in there last night. Let us make him do it again, and you gonna go in and lay with him to make preserve seed there. So, hold on, if we could. Oh, we got what's going on, our bar. You know what I'm saying? Good to see you up in here, bro. Oh yeah, that's a heavy joint right there. 1 John 2:19. The water I will buy, that joint fire right there. Okay. I'm trying to do double. I'm doing the computer tonight and I'm teaching up here. But verse 35, where was I at? 35? Or finished 34? Yeah, at 35. All right, verse 35. And they made their father drink wine that night also, and the younger arose and lay with him. And he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. So the same thing the next night. Verse 36. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father. So this right here, for anybody that don't understand the scriptures, people will pull this and say, see, the Bible talk about fathers laying with their daughters. That ain't what it's talking. That's what it's talking about. But that's not being condoned or pushed to be okay. That's not okay. And you can read that. Here's what's interesting too. We go and read about, this is in Genesis. We go and read about the law written later in Deuteronomy and Exodus and all that, right? There's more, but I'm trying to be quick. We go and read about it there. But all through this Old Testament, they bringing out things that are lawful / unlawful. Just like if we go back to Noah with the unclean and clean animals, how did they know which one was which? We reading about this, which you can't do. So if anybody understands and learns this Bible the right way, it makes it so clear. Just like I said about the nations coming back. At one time, they were all here. When you go and read about the, I want to say Ezekiel, but I don't want to misquote, so don't quote me right now. But where it talks about the different trees in the garden, but those trees being nations, it was referring to nations in the garden. So you can't say there weren't multiple nations in the garden with Adam and all that, and then turn around and not understand once the Lord destroyed it all, or flooded it all rather, that they get brought back. That's what we were talking about last week with reincarnation. So because the Lord flooded the earth, he brought them back in. Jacob and Esau was us and the white man. Moab and Ammon's Chinese, Japanese. Ishmael coming from Abraham, getting kicked out, was the Arabs. All these nations are coming back. And even I think somewhere in chapter 19 or 16, you get the East Indians in there. You get all the nations that come back. But right now, we just reading about these two. Okay. Let's see if I bear with me 1 second. All right. So verse 36, thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father. 37, and the firstborn bare a son and called his name Moab. The same is the father of the Moabites until this day. So when we do a little bit of history, we get that the Moabites are the Chinese. Though they are brothers, Moab and Ammon, you got them, not only do they border each other or whatever, but they look alike. And even in that should tell you just how heavy this book is. Verse 38 says, and the younger, so the older had Moab, and the younger, she also bare a son and called his name Ben-Ammi. The same is the father unto the children of Ammon unto this day. So when we reference Moab and Ammon, you have these two progenitors to the nations. So when we go and read about Jacob and Esau, those are our progenitors to that. Then if I can make it make sense. So you got Jacob and Esau here, right? If you go back up through Isaac and Abraham, you get all the like Terah is Abraham's father. Then you get up to, I'm skipping a little bit, but you get up to Ham, Shem, and Japheth. So out of Ham came the sons of Ham, being the Africans. So you had Foot, Canaan, Mizraim, and there's a fourth one. It's escaping me. Foot, Canaan, Mizraim, and I can't remember. It's in the Zondervan. Okay, please, if you don't mind, if you could look up Ham. So those four came out of him, and from those four that came out of Ham, made all these Africans you got now. But it was over here on Shem's line, which was Ham's brother, where everything came down, which is why we say the Arabs are Shemitic or Esau is Shemitic, but the Africans are not. So when you go and you look at Africans, though their skin is dark, they don't look like us. You get what I'm saying? Like the brother, thank you, sis. The what's that brother's name? Sinetta. That be talking with Captain Zaryat. He says he's Dominican, right? So when you look at Sinetta, he looked like a Dominican brother. Like then you look at like a Puerto Rican brother, or you look at a Judite brother or whatever. It's like the same fam. But then if you put a African Hamite next to Sinetta, they don't look alike, you know? And it trips me out sometimes because prior to the truth, you don't see it. You like, yeah, we dark skinned, everybody dark skinned. We all the same melanated dark skin. But then you really look and you're like, yeah, the white man's the white man, but you know, him being the brother to Jacob out the womb, I can see how I could see that genetic similarity, but then we go and we read how Esau ain't got that covenant no way. So in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, we have the definition of Ham on page 213. Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood, because you had Noah and his wife, his 3 sons, and their 3 wives. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. So yeah, you had those 4 being the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, and the Canaanites. So that's Mizraim, which is the Egyptians. You got the Ethiopians, which is Foot, I believe. I could be mixing them. The Libyans and the Canaanites. And I want to remember. If I had my paper, I could remember off the top of my head. But I want you to forget your books. So you have these people, these Hamites, who come from over there. And then you have us, along with a couple other nations, through the Shemitic line. Okay? So oftentimes we say just because you're dark skinned doesn't mean you're us. I'll agree wholeheartedly. Yeah, the East Indians are dark skinned too, but they not us. You know, you got some Esau's today, some white people today that are dark skinned because they come from different grandmothers and grandfathers. Grandmothers and things like that. And it's just how the genetic makeup came for you to be here. But that doesn't mean you come from the bloodline of these 12 tribes. So it's a lot, but once it gets narrowed down according to the scripts, it's easy to understand. So we're going to go from here and go to Genesis, the 25th chapter. And about this stuff with Moab and Ammon. I'm trying to be quick because I know we started a little late, but what's heavy about this is why are the Chinese and Japanese, why is it that nation or Mongolians or whatever you want to call them in that line, why is it that they look like that from the incest? So incest today brings deformities. If you take this and then generations go on, y'all still looking like that now. So what we talking about is in y'all, which is why it matches so well to when you read in the scriptures and the breakdowns. All right, Maya Shaw, I see you up in here, bro. Any questions online, type them in. We'll get those also for the time being. So yeah, the incest of it is why they look like that. And nobody else, like it again, when you really break it down, nobody else breaks it down like UPK do. Like the incest of it obviously would say why they look like that. We just read it. So let's go to Jacob and Esau real quick. Please. You have the what now? Yes, if I could see that, please. Well, while she's bringing it up, we're going to hit Genesis 25 and 21. Yes, please. Yeah, okay. Right. So you see how, well, only I could see it right now. But between Shem and all the nations in between, down to Abraham, Isaac, Ishmael, and Jacob, you see how it's all them in between. But if you stick to like the prominent ones, you got, of course, Shem, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and then you got Esau right there. And then you got Lot over here. Yeah, this is a good one right here. But this really makes the point. Like, do you see how you got different nations right here? And you got the people from Shelah to yeah, see, this is what I'm saying. You got Ishmael right here. So we coming out of Shem, but there ain't nowhere in here. The Hamites ain't in there. So it's like, yeah, the Esau looked like us at time, but that red showing through their skin is to let you know. But then the Hamites are still beasts too. Like when you read the most subtle beast of the field being Esau, that just said the most subtle. Ain't the only one out there. You know what I mean? The water for that. This is true though. That's what I'm trying to say. You put that up in your house. Frame that. Put that in your house. Okay. The water for that. All right. $25 and 21. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all get there. To answer your question earlier about, bringing out how, we may look like Hamites, but bringing that information out. For the time being, I'm bringing Moab and Ammon, and then a little bit of Jacob and Esau. But that chart right there you just had really explains like why, even though they're dark too, they don't even come from the same brother, that man. They way over there. They damn near cousins for real. I mean, if you think about it, like Noah's son, 3 sons, you got Shem that we come from, but his brother is Ham. That's they cousin. That's cousin over there. But Jacob and Esau came straight out the womb. Bow bow. They right there. But that's real. Like it's. I keep going back to how heavy this book is, because if we listen to people who don't know it or don't have the authority or the wisdom to just bring it out, like y'all have heard this before, but even still, both like, yeah, look, because to read. Okay. So 25, and we can start at 21. Verse 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him. And Rebekah, his wife, conceived. So now Rebekah has, children inside of her, rather. Verse 22. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. So when it says, and the children struggled together within her, we got to see this spiritual part of it. These 2 babies in there, these 2 babies in there are struggling or fighting in the womb. We were never meant to be with the white man from then, ever. To try to put us together really makes it's like when you take 2 magnets and they do like that, you ain't putting them together. So the more we try to think of it from a historical standpoint of the book, you got to look at today. You can't put us in the same school. You can't put us in the same army or military. We don't go together in neighborhoods. We don't work together in jobs, meaning we might go to work together, like you clock in and you have a white man working at your job. What I'm saying is, as a whole, like, we're not meant to be one with them. because they understand something that they're not trying to be one with us. You might have your one or two white guys or white girls who may seem like they're cool. You might have those quote unquote cool whites. At the end of the day, no matter how cool they are, they still the devil. And if it push come to shove, when that time comes, they're gonna choose their side. They're not gonna roll with you. So is the scriptures say, never trust thine enemy. No matter how cool they are, you can go to work. What's up, Bob? Yo, what's up, man? Yeah, good. All right, good morning, man. Good to see you. All right, go on about your business. They might say, "What's up to you?" Hey, Cheryl, this. All right, yeah, good to see you. All right, good morning. Okay, we doing this quota thing, prompt thing for the work today. Okay, how many numbers we got? All right, cool. Okay. Oh, we leaving early today. All right, we're going home. All right, now, see you tomorrow at work. Working is one thing, but as a people, we not meant to be together. We've been fighting since the womb. I don't know nobody I want to be with fighting in the womb from jump. Okay. So verse 22, and the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. If it be so that I'm, pregnant, what's going on? Why? What's the meaning of this? Verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb. What does it mean 2 nations are in her womb? A nation of people is like thousands of people. But he's letting her know go ahead. Yeah, bringing them back. So you got 2 nations in here. You got Jacob and Esau, or the white man and blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. 2 nations are in thy womb. And what's even more heavier is it really pinpoints that bringing back these forefathers and bringing back this people, you can just trace it like a river all the way through Genesis, going into Joseph and them, all the way into Exodus with the tribes, all the way through the slavery and captivity, all the way in the Joshua and the wars, all the way through the First Kings, Second Kings, Samuel, David and Solomon, and it just goes all the way down the line. And then you eventually get to it's like a bunch of stories, true stories, that all mean one great thing, which is just amazing. I'm sorry, I started seeing it on my. I'm like, wow. Yeah, please.
The spirit of Esau was Cain.
Okay, who said that?
The one who was killed, the one who got killed.
No, I mean, who said that to you?
I've heard. I don't know exactly. I can't quote.
Okay.
Verbatim, but so there's a verse in Revelation. It's talking about the beast or that was in the garden from the beginning, which was Cain. Was it Cain who killed Abel?
The Cain killed Abel, but I wouldn't say Cain is Esau though.
The spirit.
Yeah.
Not as a person.
Oh, of that murderous thing.
Right.
Yeah.
From the beginning.
Yeah. And then the beast you're talking about, I'm glad we cleared that up. Because there's one part. No, you're good. Because there's some that will say that Cain is back as Esau. But that was one thing they're like, nah. But that spirit of murder and all that, yeah, that is in Esau all the way to today. And we're going to read about the characteristic of Esau also. And the beast in Revelation is that old serpent from the garden. That's the beast. That same serpent that beguiled Eve then became a great beast in Revelation. So he grew into this amazing thing. And that's what you got with America and the common markets, the 7 heads and the 10 horns. And even when you go back and read in Daniel, it'll break down the 4 beasts, from the Assyrians to the Persians and the Medes to Alexander, all the way up to Rome, and then going into America, which Rome being resurrected back now, because at one time they said, "What?"
American is an extension of Rome.
America is all of them together. So today you got America in all the common markets like Luxembourg and Belgium and Europe and all of these different places together, making a great beast that you read in Revelation that at one time was a serpent in the beginning who beguiled Eve, but now has become a great dragon. And you know that because America can do what they want. They can bomb who they want. They can cut you off with the IMF or the International Monetary Fund. If you ain't getting down with white Jesus and the American democracy and philosophy, they'll cut you off, which is why Cuba still got cars and stuff from the 50s because they got cut off. You know, Haiti got cut off. You got all these places. If you're not getting down with them, they'll cut you off, bomb you, kill you, or unalive you, and then try to, recreate this democratic society that ends up destroying the cruising philosophies that they were once doing. You know what I'm saying? That's what's been happening for 20 plus years with Afghanistan and Iraq. I mean, you go back and look at Saddam. I don't want to go too far off, but you go back and look at Saddam Hussein. Saddam, if you go back and watch it, well, don't go back and watch the tape because they were killing him. But Saddam was about to be hung, and then he said, he was speaking in his language saying death to Persia, I believe he said. If I'm not mistaken, he said death to Persia or death to one of them because he knew once they came in, it was going to be the domino effect to what we got now. So even though, that's another story. But the beast in Revelation is America and the philosophy of what they've been pushing for all this time. And that's what we've been fighting against. Us reading about Jacob and Esau right here fights against that beast. So they might have their airplanes, they might have their nuclear missiles and their submarines, they might have their military might, but ain't nothing more powerful than the Lord. And to read this here and to see that this is you and your forefathers, that beast can't beat that. People often think what we reading or what we bringing out might seem small, but that day coming. And people gonna want to fill up these seats. We in here now, like I said last week, there was 4 of us in here last week. There's 4 of us in here now, and everybody online. That day coming, they're gonna be busting this door down to learn what is God talking about and how can I be protected from this animal, because it's about to go down. It's about to go down. One thing, another thing too. We at 8:55. We got time. So one thing that was often pushed in UPK when I came in 2014 and I got my name in 2015. So from then to now, it's always been push. It's about to take a big turn when France flips from NATO. Or in NATO, if you know anything about NATO, okay. So you got Psalms, the 83rd chapter. I believe it's 83 or 121, where it talks about the nations coming together against us. NATO is that place where the nations go to conspire together on how can we do what we need to do so we all fair. More so keep these black people where they at, and then we can come up. So France is going to flip on NATO and then start to turn and then roll with their Islamic counterparts or whatever you want to look at it, because the majority of France is Islam anyway. So once they start enacting that real Islam, NATO and them are going to be like, yo, what you doing? France like, yo, forget y'all. But that is in Ezekiel 38, okay, where it said they would flip. And now you like, yo, they flipping. Old boy, the prime minister or the president of France just said it like a month ago. He was like, we're going to start looking at our own ways of how we're going to go forward as a country. That's you saying we kind of want to do our own thing. That's them turning slowly, but outright it's going to get where they outright fully drop. And then now we got issues.
They'll bring other nations too, right? With the, like once France turned, then there'll be like Britain and all the,
Yeah, you have your hole in the walls, but you already got your sides per se. Like you got NATO alliance who went into Libya first, and then you got Russia and China on their side, and they're drawing in African countries, and then you got America and NATO on their side. So everybody's really set in their sides, but it's more like militia factions or what you standing on philosophically that's going to place you where you're going to be in this fight. So you might be a Chinese dude that don't want to rep China no more and they want to rep Islam or something. You might have them, but as a whole, you have your side set. And the more they start pushing to this thing, World War III, you start to see them drawing in little bit by little bit. We choosing the side of the Lord. So that way, in that day when all hell's breaking loose, we good. You go back and read where Peter got the power and was able to do things, miracle things for us before that fall of Jerusalem. So not to go too far, we about to hit 9. Let's read this Genesis real quick. Genesis 25 and 23. Okay. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. So it's telling you 2 nations are in the womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. Meaning God already made it clear we ain't going to be the same, right? But those 2 manners is 2 characteristics. I don't know about you, but growing up, middle school, high school, the neighborhood, I grew up around all Israel. But something wrong with them, Esau's, them white kids. They want to jump off stuff and eat everything and be weird. And I can't say too much online. But yeah, they want to kill torture the animals as kids and some Jeffrey Dahmer and stuff like that. Like, what you doing, man? Like, their characteristics is way over here. Black people, you know what I'm saying, be back in the house for the street. Like, come on, like that. We over there. We chilling, hanging out. We just, love our moms. You know what I'm saying? Want to ride bikes and play and stuff like that. Esau is different. And even into now, like black people, man, we chilling, hanging out, get up with family, do cookouts and stuff like that. Go to our slave, come home. White people bungee jumping and woo and doing all that stuff. And just screaming and shit, like, and then going to other countries and go missing.
They nation kind of going down.
They going down, yeah.
They trying to procreate with us. We like, some of them be taking them. We like, what you doing?
Yeah, why you going with them? And you right, sis. And they be smelling like they stink, man. I used to play football, and they stink, man. Like, and then they just different. Their skin is different, like like they just different, man. The women stink, and then the hair, the stringy hair, the characteristics of Esau and them are different, man. You get around a bunch of black people, it's just turn on some music, cook some food, everybody chilling, have a good time, even though we in our captivity. But I'm saying characteristic wise, we cook better than them, we smell better than them, our women are better than them, our men are more manlier than them, even though today the psychological warfare, the propaganda being pushed, making our men weak, that's the goal that they got. But if we were to take all that away, black men are more manlier off rip. Black women are more women. White women are like nasty, man. They like being with a bunch of men and all that. Animals, thank you. Animals and stuff like that, man. All they rituals and all that, stuff. Hollywood and eating red meat and all that, bloody meat. Like we just are. We different from them. Our music is different and better. Our clothes are different and better. Don't make me go back to 2002 with the big white tees. The big white, we done made big white t-shirts and jeans the staple, So anyway, when it says, "In two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels," the Lord said, separated from thy bowels, meaning they weren't supposed to be together, no way. "And the one people shall be stronger than the other people." That one people that was supposed to be stronger is us. And you just look at everything. We fight better, we look better, we run faster, we cook better, we do everything better. We built this place. We on the bottom, and we got the white man so high up, just off our back. They going to the moon. They doing trade across the world. And who knows what they doing outside of in the air and under the ground. You know what I mean? I know, and we passed 9, so we're going to wrap it up here in a second. Oh, hold on. We got, okay, Iraq. Iraq said bloody meat, fish eggs, no salt. Yeah, Iraq. Okay. We got Olivia up in here. We got Iraq up in here. Okay. Olivia said, how did y'all tell me to do that? Oh, yeah, he said show it like this, I think. There you go. Okay. We got our rock up in here. She said, Olivia said, what's going on, sis? She said, "I remember them days, everybody meeting up on bikes and skateboards to go play. Now it's just like these kids these days, all they looking for is a charger and some food." A Dodge Charger and a sandwich. Yeah. So not to go too far off, but that's right. Okay, glad to have y'all up in here. So we're going to do a few more minutes and get through this real fast. All right. "But the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger, because Esau was born first." But it says the elder shall serve the younger, because when you think about lineage, or you think about rulership, or you think about empires or things like that, the oldest one get the power. The younger one is behind him. So if the parents die, the oldest gets the seat. Not in this case. And from this beginning, the Lord said the older was going to serve the younger. Verse 24, "And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb." So yeah, they were twins, but let's find out what kind of twins they were, which is another reason why I say, if you look at like an NFL player, a white NFL player, like a linebacker, and you look at like a black NFL player, they look just alike, but one is a bloodline, a blood white man, and one is a blood Israelite. But we're reading about them coming out and how it's going to separate. Verse 25, "And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau." Okay, the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, which is a funny thing about the monkey thing, but okay. So they come out red and hairy, like red being the blood showing through his skin. I'm only going fast because we about to get up out of here. But showing through his skin and being hairy. If Esau, or if this place didn't have Gillette razors and all them and all that, you'll be seeing a bunch of Chewbacca's walking around here. You'll be seeing a bunch of them wondering what the hell is that. That old Geico commercial, they took it down and they got the little lizard man in there. But that old Geico commercial with the caveman dude, that's who would be walking around right now. And we would be looking at them like, what the hell is that? Okay. And they called his name Esau, or wasted away, is another name for him. Verse 26. "And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them." Verse 27, "And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter." That's very important, because that nature or characteristic that Esau got, the man, is the same characteristic of them now. And not only with hunting deers and bears and killing all the sharks and all this other stuff, but hunting you. That's why it says, for they hunt thy steps in, I'm paraphrasing, but they hunt thy steps, which is us. They good like that. They know how to hunt you when you don't see them. We are the deers in the woods looking like, what is that? And they in the woods with the gun. That's us now. From when we leave here tonight, let you run that red light. Whoop. Oh shit, where was he at? Hunting you there. Let's not even talk about the brothers in prison. Child support. That right there is a great weapon that he got against us. But that's how he hunt like that. He good like that. He is good at that shit. Like, we aren't that good, but when the power come, he ain't gonna have that ability to be like that. Okay. A man of the field. That's Esau. Always want to be out there hunting some shit, going in the mountains somewhere, or going to some cold place and hiding in a cave. Man versus wild and all that. Black people ain't doing that, man. Hey, what's what it look like out there? Oh man, I ain't going, bro. Hell nah. I ain't going. Esau, come on, dude, let's go. Like, let that, what's that that comedian Aries Spears? And he was like, he said, black people can't be in horror movies because they be in the woods dancing and they hear one thing, what was that? Well, we gotta go. We gotta get about. White people be wanting to go see what's wrong. Like, that's movies, but they really all into something they don't need to be in, But and Jacob in the middle of 27, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. Jacob chilling, he ain't trying to get into all that. He at home playing spades. He dwelling in tents, chilling at the house, not trying to get into all this. He cutting spade, doing cards, you know what I'm saying? Not worrying about it. Yo, ma, what we doing? You know what I'm saying? What up, Dad? You know what I mean? Good to see you. Hey, y'all coming through tonight? Y'all chilling? We hanging out? Yo, I got a couple extra dollars. We're gonna cook something up, hanging out at the house, come through. A plain man, Verse 28. And we're gonna wrap up on through 29 because we already passed the time. 28, and Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. This right here. Okay. And Isaac loved Esau. Father gonna love his son, right? Isaac loved both of them, but Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison. Just like white boys today. Just like them, where you go look at Donald Trump. Donald Trump made established himself, and he can pass it to his son. He training his son up from birth to be like him. That's how Esau roll. They roll like that. Esau roll like, he eating of my venison like he like to do what I do. You look at white boys, they from jump, from when they this tall, they just like they white dad, dressing like them, acting like them. He building them up to be a devil in the earth too. You go look at white kids like that. If you ever be or see around how they roll, white dads always gearing up their white sons to be spitting images of them and teaching them, of course, to hate us. Not saying that black men can't do the same thing with their sons and daughters. This just talking characteristics of Isaac and Esau here, and how you can see that little white boys and how they white fathers bring them up because they just like them. But Rebekah loved Jacob just like a brother loved his mom. You ain't gonna talk about my mom. You know what I'm saying? Brothers get an NFL contract, first thing to do is buy their mama a house or a car or both. You can't tell no brother about his mom. Ain't no brother gonna be too light about his moms, because spiritually, characteristically, this is us. So Rebecca loving Jacob, the mother loved Esau too. But why is it specifying? Because it's them then, like it's us now. So we're gonna wrap up with that for right now. Lord allow, next Monday we could finish it off. We're gonna finish 29 through 34, and then get into the other nations, the Hamites, bring that out some more. And any other nation y'all want to hear about, we'll break it all the way down. But we're gonna finish this next week. Appreciate y'all coming through online. Officer Rock holding it down. The water for allowing me to come through. He said bloody meat. Oh, we read that one. Oh, he said wasted away. They age like milk. They got excessive dandruff, acne, and liver spots. Yo, I rock wow. Yeah, that's them. That's them. Because black people age like wine, and Esau age like spoiled milk. Straight up. I gotta show that. We're gonna show that right there. Big ups to y'all online. The waters is for coming through. You know what I'm saying? If y'all got anything, I know the brother gonna be teaching on Wednesday. Officer Yanazar will be in here Wednesday. Officer Yanazar rocking out 7 to 9. We appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? Pay your tithes. ISUBK.com. We holding it down and we about to get up out of here. Shalom, y'all.